Hello and welcome back to our lessons. In this video, we are going to show you how you can use dynamic images with MMIO. So we are going to use the omnichannel feature where we are going to automate the terms and conditions agreement. So I have here a whiteboard and a terms and agreement would be automated using the omnichannel chatbot, and for the dynamic images, we are going to use the services of Robolly. So Robolly is a dynamic image solution where you can change the text and the image inside of an image and then export it as an image. And you can also download it as a PDF. So our workflow would be this one. The first step would be to get the full name of our customer. And after we got the full name of our customer, we're going to confirm if this is the correct data. And after confirming that this is the correct full name, we are going to get the email address of our customer. And after getting the email, we are then also going to confirm if this is the correct email that they want to use. And after confirming that this is the correct email, then we are going to send our terms and conditions. So send the draft terms and conditions. So after sending our terms and conditions, we are going to ask if they agree or not. So if they do not agree, we are going to let them confirm if that is their final decision. And if that is their final decision to not confirm, then that would be the end of our flow. We are going to say our goodbyes. But if they change their mind and they really wanted to confirm the terms and agreement, then we are going to proceed to another flow, and that is to send email. So send the confirmation email to customer and also send it to the admin. And after sending the email, we are then going to say our thank you. Okay, so that would become our workflow. So let's review. Okay, so first we are going to get the full name of our potential client or customer. And if they confirm that that is the correct full name, then we are going to get the email. But what if they do not confirm and they want to edit? Then we are going to add another message here or workflow so that they have a chance to edit the full name that they wish to give us. And then for the email, if they do not confirm the email or if they want to edit the email, we will also give the option to edit this. And after they confirm the email, we're going to send the terms and conditions. And if they do not confirm the terms and conditions, then that would be the end of our flow. But if they change their mind, then we are going to send an email both to the customer and to the admin. And on our email, this is going to contain the terms and conditions in PDF form. And furthermore, we are going to add the date of the confirmation because that is a necessary data. We're going to add the date on the PDF. So that is the summary of our workflow. So we are going to do this using the omnichannel chatbot. Now for the terms and conditions, I have already prepared a Robolly dynamic image here. And this is our render link. Okay, so the way it works is we are just going to replace the variables here, and the terms and conditions, full name, customer email, and the time of agreement would be automatically changed or updated. And that data, we are going to get that from our MMIO chatbot. So all of this can be easily done using robolly.com, and we have the option to format it as a JPEG or a PDF. So let's check out how this might look in real time. So I have prepared a flow here. So let's trigger that flow. Terms, that is the keyword that I used. And after that, the flow would ask us for the full name. So example, John Doe. And after that, it would let us confirm if that is the correct full name that we are going to use. And if we wish to edit, simply click the edit quick reply. And then we have the option to edit it again. So John F. Doe. And once we are satisfied with the full name that we have given, we can just click yes button here. And then we are going to give our email. And after entering an invalid email, then we are going to send a message informing them that this is not a valid email address. Now let's try to enter a valid email address here. All right, so after entering a valid email address, it would let us confirm if this is the correct email. And if I say yes, then we are going to receive the terms and conditions. So here is the terms and conditions. We sent it as an image because this is a draft. So if we view this image, we can already see that we have the full name here and the email. But we don't have the time of agreement yet because we haven't agreed to the terms and conditions just yet. And if we click yes, or if we agree to the terms and conditions, we should be receiving our copy of the terms and conditions. So if we check our email, we are going to receive this. So this is a very simple email, and for our example purposes, we did not make it as a very fancy email. So if we click the download PDF, we should be able to see our copy of the agreement like this. And we have the time of agreement automatically inputted here. So this is our full name, the email that we provided, and the time of agreement. So that's how we are going to build our flow. So how did we build this type of flow? So we are going to have a preview. So this is the flow that we used to build that automation. And we used the omnichannel. It means that if it works in Messenger, it would also work for your accounts in WhatsApp, for GMB, and Instagram as well. So that's the power of the omnichannel. And I'm going to guide you step by step how this is done. So let's start building this automation. All right, to start off, we are going to create an omni-channel flow. So go to omni-channel and then go to flows. And after that, we're going to click create omni-channel flow. And let's name this as agree terms bot. Click OK. So this is the editor interface. We are first going to create a text element, connect it to our reference. And then let's create a trigger. So the trigger here would be a keyword trigger used to test our flow. And we are going to select another type of keyword, the one that we haven't used before. So let's say agree. Okay, that is our keyword. And for the first message, we are going to copy the setup here. So this will become our first message. Let's configure this. So please enter your full name below. And we are going to ask the user to enter. So the next would be a user input because we are expecting the user to type. And then we are going to create a new custom variable here. So to create a new custom variable, you can either click this create custom variable button here and then configure these settings. Example, we're going to name this as auto terms full name. And then for the fallback, let's say John Doe. So that's the first way how you can create a custom variable. Another would be to create directly in the user input. So here we have already created the auto terms full name. So to create a custom variable on the user input, just turn on this switch and then configure this same as we did earlier. So those methods are the same. It will yield the same result. So since we have already created the custom variable that we need, we are just going to use that, the auto terms full name. And then for the follow-up, so this is a message that we are going to send if ever the subscriber did not reply or was not able to type the data that we are asking for, which is the full name. So let's say this is the message that we are going to send in case they did not respond in time. So we are just going to copy this. So this is the message that we are going to add in the config and then connect here on the very start of our flow. So if they did not respond on time to our question, then we are going to send this. And then we are going to trigger this message again, giving them another chance to enter the name that we are asking for. So after they entered the name, we are going to send a verification. But for this, we are going to need a button. So since we are going to use a button, we need a channel specific messages here. So we are going to use a channel splitter. So this is our channel splitter, just like what we did here. We have a channel splitter and we configured a message for Messenger, Instagram, for WhatsApp, and GMB. So that's what we're going to do here as well. So let's add a message for Messenger. So that is the Messenger text. And for the Messenger text, we are going to use the same message here. So we are going to confirm that this is the data that they entered and we want them to confirm this. So if you are wondering how we added this custom variable here, for those who are not familiar, what we did here is just we added the custom variable by clicking this button and then adding the custom variable here, click add. So this is the new custom variable that we need, the auto terms full name, because that's the custom variable that we recently created. And then we are going to need 2 quick replies here. So the first quick reply will have this title, yes. So let's add that here as well. And for another button, we are going to add edit. So add a quick reply, edit. Great. And then we are going to do the same for Instagram, WhatsApp, and GMB. So for Instagram, we are going to add Instagram text. And then for WhatsApp, we are going to use the WhatsApp button message. And for the GMB, we are going to use the GMB text element here. So since we have already configured this message, we are just going to copy this and use the same message for Instagram. Great. So the same custom variable and same buttons. Okay, so we needed to add 2 quick replies here. We're just going to copy everything and add it here. The next thing would be to configure our WhatsApp button message. So use the same message as well. So configure our WhatsApp button message, and the configuration that we need is the body config. Add the message on your body config, same custom variable, auto terms full name. And then we are going to configure 2 buttons here. So the first button would be yes, okay, and the second button would be edit. So add another button, and then that would become our edit button. And lastly, we are going to configure our GMB text. So let's configure this, use the same message, and then add the same buttons. So we have yes. So add a suggestion here. And then we have another button, which is the edit button. And then we are going to add that for this suggestion. All right, so we have configured 4 messages here with 2 buttons. Now, we need 2 converger here. So let's create a converger, a channel converger. So this will become our channel converger for the yes button, and another channel converger for the no button. Great. So it means that we need 1 channel converger for each of the buttons. So let's connect all of the yes buttons to this converger. So connect the Instagram button here, and then the WhatsApp button. Connect it to the WhatsApp connector, and here for the GMB, connect it to GMB. And for the converger for the edit button, we are going to connect for Messenger here, for Instagram, for WhatsApp, and for GMB. Great. The next thing would be to configure the next message. So the next message here is this one. We are going to ask for the email. Okay, so but before we add the next message, so this is the confirmation message. They're confirming that this is the correct full name. Okay, so what if they want to edit? Then we are going to bring them back to our first message. So connect this to our first message here so that they can enter their full name again. And once they confirm their full name, we are going to ask for their email. So basically, since we are asking for the email, it would have the same setup as this one. So to make our time shorter or to save time, we are just going to copy all of the elements here, copy all of them, and then paste it over here because they have the same setup. All right, so we have added the same setup. We are just now going to edit all of the messages here. Okay, so here instead of please enter your full name, we are going to connect it first on the converter. We are going to ask for the email. Please enter your email below. And for the follow-up message, seems like you overlook providing your, instead of full name, we are going to add email. And then try that again. Okay, for the user input, we are not going to use the auto terms full name. Instead, we are going to create a new custom variable here. So the custom variable that we are going to create is, so we can use this button, auto terms email. Okay, and then the email would be, let's just say johndoe@gmail.com. So that is our fallback value. So let's confirm the changes. And now we are using the auto terms email. So you need to configure to use the auto terms email for this one instead of the auto terms full name. That is the custom variable where we are going to store the input of our customer or our potential prospect. Now, here for the confirmation, instead of thanks, your full name is blah, 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 we're going to copy the setup here. So what we said here was, got it, your email is this correct? So we are going to configure it the same way as this one. So let's edit this. And instead of terms email, we're going to delete that. And we are going to add the auto terms email, okay? And then we are going to copy because that is the same message that is going to be sent for Instagram. Override that for WhatsApp and for GMB. Let's change this as well. Great. Now we have two buttons, yes and edit. And same as before, if they click edit, then we will connect to the first message where we ask for the email of our potential prospect. Okay, now after confirming the email, if they click yes, the next step would be we are going to send them the terms and conditions, the draft terms and conditions, just like what we did here. So here, this is just an image and this is a text. We are going to copy the message here. After they confirm their email, we are going to send a text message and this will become our message. Here's the terms and conditions for your reference. And then we are going to send our draft terms and conditions. So the draft terms and conditions is just an image. So let's add an image element here and let us configure. So here in the image URL, this is where we add the Robolly render URL that we have prepared earlier. All right, we are now on our Robolly setup, and this is our Robolly render URL, this one. Okay, so we are going to copy this and replace the variables with our own. So not all of the variables here are needed. We only need the time of agreement, the customer email, and the full name. So those are the only variables that we are going to need. So we are just going to copy all of them and format them on our text editor. So I'm going to open a text editor here and then paste the URL. Okay, so for the URL, we don't need all of the variables here. So we only need up until the full name variable. So the rest of the parameter of this render link will be deleted. So we are just going to preserve the full name, customer email, and the time of agreement variable. And then delete all other variables. Okay, great, except the full name, customer email, and the time of agreement. Okay, so we are going to copy this and paste it on our image config. So this is our image config. Paste the render link that we have copied earlier. And then the next step would be to change the variables here to our own custom variable. Because this variable here are just sample variable, we need to change this. So here, this is the variable for the time of agreement. We don't have that variable yet, but we already created the custom variable for the customer email and the full name. So we are going to replace this. So instead of the text content variable here, we are going to delete that, and replace it with our own custom variable. So the full name custom variable, place it here, click variables, and replace it with the auto terms full name. Add it on our render link. Okay, so now we have full name is equal to auto terms full name. The next is the customer email. So we are going to delete this, the customer email custom variable that was provided for us by Robolly. So that is the default. We don't need that. What we need is the custom variable that we created for the auto terms email. So click add. So if we go here, we should be able to see that the auto terms email have been added here. And then for the last one, we don't have the time of agreement custom variable yet. So we are just going to confirm the changes for now because we are going to create that variable. So create a custom variable. And what we need is the, I think what we need is the agree terms. So let's double check what we needed here. So auto terms agreement time. So let's name that as auto terms agree time. Okay, so that is the custom variable. For the fallback value, let's just use NA here. Great, we have created the custom variable for the agreement time. We can now edit the configuration of this image again, and then replace this default variable provided by Robolly and replace it with our own, and that is the auto terms agreement time. So click add, and if we view, we should have the correct custom variable here, the auto terms agree time. Okay, so those are the custom variables from our chatbot, and the auto terms email and the auto terms full name. Okay, I think we have configured our image correctly here. Let's confirm the changes. Now we need our prospect or our subscriber to confirm if they agree or not on our terms and conditions. So since we are asking them to agree or not, that is 2 buttons, then I think what we need here is this setup. We are just going to copy this setup because this is just the same. Copy this. Okay, so all of the messages here with 2 buttons and the 2 convergers included, copy all of them and paste them here because they are gonna be the same setup that we are going to use. Okay, and after that, connect the image here. Now we are going to ask them if they agree to the terms and conditions, and this is the message that we are going to send to them. So do you agree with the terms and conditions? Okay, so replace the image here. Okay, so let's replace the message. Do you agree with the terms and conditions? So we have yes. So instead of edit, we are going to change this to no, because that is the button that we need. Okay, so change this to no. Great. Okay, we are going to change all of the buttons here as well to no. Okay, change this to no. This one as well, we are going to change this to no. And then for the messages, let's change them one by one as well. Let's update all of them. Okay, great. Update this as well, the body message. And for the GMB text, replace that as well. Great. We now have the messages and the buttons correctly set up. Now, what if they do not agree? Okay, so if they do not agree, then we need to confirm. We need to ask them if that is their final decision. That means that it would need a message with two buttons again. So we are going to copy the same setup here. Same setup. And then paste it here. Okay, so these are the elements that we need for the message confirmation. And instead of using a converger here, since we are sending a message with another button, then we can just delete this and then connect the no to this. All of the no buttons will be connected to the message according to the channel. So we have no for WhatsApp here, and then no for GMB. Great. So here we are going to make them confirm if that is their final decision. So this is the message. Oh, sorry to hear that you don't agree with our terms. Disagreeing with the terms means that you won't be able to enter our program. Do you really want to disagree, or do you agree? So we just wanted them to think again, give them a chance to change their mind. So let's use that message and update all of the messages here. Update the message here as well. And for this one, update our body message for WhatsApp, and for this one as well. Update. Okay, for the buttons, we are going to change the buttons as well. So we have the first button is now I agree. So we are giving them the option to change their mind by adding this button, now I agree. So instead of yes, let's make it more clear by making the button title now I agree. Okay, for the GMB, let's use that as well. And here for another button, yes, I disagree. Okay, so instead of no, we are going to update here, yes, I disagree. Okay, for the Instagram, let's update that. And for Messenger, update the message as well. So if they disagree, this is the message that we are going to send them. So let's send them this text message. Add a text message here. Okay, so this is the message that we are going to send if ever they really disagree with the terms. Okay, so configure this. Okay, no problem. Terms full name. So this is not the custom variable that we recently created. So let's update that. Let's use the auto terms full name. Okay, and then let us know if you change your mind in the future. Happy to assist you. Goodbye. Okay, and that is the end of our flow if ever they really disagree with our terms and conditions. But if ever they agree with our terms and conditions, then we are going to send them a confirmation message and an email. So just like what we did here, okay, so we are going to send them this message. Thank you for confirming that you agree with our terms and conditions. So let's copy this and add a text message here and add this message. Thank you for confirming that you agree to our terms and conditions, or agree with our terms and conditions. We are now processing your application request. We will get back to you. Okay, now let's connect this one here and this element here. So what we are doing here is, if they click the yes here on our do you agree with the terms and conditions message, if they click yes, then they will be redirected to this channel converger, and then we are going to send this message. Thank you for confirming. And if ever they click no, then we are going to send this message. Oh, sorry to hear that you don't agree. So we have two options here. Now I agree and yes, I disagree. So if they click now I agree, we are going to send them to this channel converger and then send the same message here. Now, how do we capture the agreement time? Because that is another custom variable that we need a value. So to do that, we are going to use the function element. So use the function element here. And we would need a little JavaScript function to capture the current date. So I have prepared a JavaScript function here. So this is a JavaScript function to automatically capture the current date. So let's configure the function element that we have created here and delete all of this default message and paste this. So new date to date string. So this is the JavaScript function. And then we are going to save the value returned by this function to this custom variable, auto terms agree time. So let's confirm the changes. And after that, we are going to send an email. So to send an email, just use the email element here. And then let's configure this. For the email element, we would need to configure the subject, the from name, from email, and the receiver email. So we have already configured this message. So we are just going to copy this. For the email subject, this is our value. And then copy and paste it here. So let's configure this email element and then replace the subject with our own. So here we have the terms underscore full underscore name custom variable, but we are not going to use this because we have created a new custom variable, and that custom variable is this one. This is the custom variable that we needed, the auto terms full name, because this is the custom variable that we recently created. So let's copy this one. And then for the email subject, we are going to update the custom variable that was used here with our own custom variable. So let's configure this email again and update the email subject using the new and updated custom variable, the auto terms full name. Okay. Now for the email body, we are just going to send a very simple message, and let's just delete all of the default messages here. Delete this one. Okay, delete this one. Delete the image. For the heading, let's replace the heading with this one, new customer agreement. And for the email message, let's replace with this one. So this is a message that we are going to send to our admin, okay? And then let's add a button. And lastly, we are going to add a text. So this is our button. Okay, for the button, download PDF would be our button CTA or call to action. And we are going to add the Robolly render link for the PDF on this URL field. So if we go back to our Robolly account, we need to change the format type to PDF here and then copy the render link. Okay, so as you can see here, the render link would now be PDF here one. Here you can see that it is now updated to PDF. So copy all of this, and we are going to edit this on our editor. Okay, so same as what we did before, we are going to delete all of the other URL parameters that we are not going to use. So delete all of them until here. Okay, so we are going to preserve the full name, customer email, and the time of agreement because that is what we are going to need. So if you remember, we have already configured this. So if we confirm the changes here, okay, if we confirm the changes, we would encounter an error. The value missing here is because we haven't created or we haven't added an unsubscribe URL. So we are just going to copy this unsubscribe URL and then add it here temporarily and then confirm the changes. Okay, so this is the image that we sent as our draft terms and conditions. So let's just copy this and then compare it with the PDF render link. So as you can see, the PDF render link just added another path here, /PDF, and then the rest are the same. So it means that we simply need to add /PDF on our previous render link for an image, and that would become the render link for the PDF. Okay, so we are now going to update the configuration of our email and add the URL to our download button. So let's configure this email and then go to buttons and then enter the URL here. Okay, so as you can see, the custom variables here are already updated. The auto terms agree time, and then the auto terms email, and the auto terms full name. All of these custom variables are the ones that we created earlier. That is what we're going to use for our Robolly render link. Great. So if we click this download PDF, we will be redirected to Robolly render link, and it will be in a form of PDF. Okay, great. So let's finish the message here and update the unsubscribe URL to this one. Okay, and then for the from name, we are going to update with this proposal terms and conditions. And for the from email, enter the email that you are going to use to send to your subscriber. So example, if you enter here colin@smarter.io, then your subscriber will receive the email from colin@smarter.io because that is the from email. Okay, for the receiver email, since we are going to send this email to our admin, just enter your admin email here. So that could be your email or the email of the person that is in charge of this automation. So for this example, I am going to send this admin email to this one. Okay, that is my admin email. Okay, great. So we have fully configured our email. So a very simple email. If you would like to make it more fancy, we have more templates here which you can choose and edit to make your email fancier. But for this example purposes, we are just going to send a very simple email. So let's confirm the changes. Okay, so note that this is the email sent to the admin, and we need to send another email for our subscriber or for our prospect so that they can have their own copy as well of the terms and conditions. So to make it easier for us, we are just going to copy this, okay, and then configure the email, connect that email first, and then configure this. So it's now easier for us to configure this one. We're just going to change the subject and the receiver email and our email body. So here we can see that the email subject is this one. Okay, let's just copy that and add the email subject here. But please note that we need to update the custom variable to the latest custom variable that we created. So instead of terms underscore full name, we are going to use this custom variable, auto terms full name. Great. Now for the message, we are just going to copy this. Note that this is what we are going to send to our subscriber. Our customer or our potential prospect will receive this. Okay. So instead of congrats admin, we are going to say thank you full name. Okay. So instead of terms underscore full name, let's update the custom variable to the latest custom variable that we created. Download it here. So it is the same. Okay. The URL would be the same. So no need to further configure this one. Okay. The next would be to configure the receiver email. So the receiver email would be the email that our subscriber provided. So this is the custom variable that we need, the auto terms email. So we are going to copy this custom variable, and that is what we are going to paste here. Okay. So instead of adding here in an email, we are going to add a custom variable on this field because this one will be automatically replaced with the email that our subscriber has provided. Okay, let's confirm the changes. And then lastly, we are going to send a message informing them that we have already sent the email. Okay, so we have already sent the copy of our agreed terms and conditions to your email. And then let's output the email that they provided earlier, the auto terms email, and then say, please check your inbox. Okay, confirm the changes. And with that, we have completed the setup of our flow. So this is a very simple setup. You can improve on it and modify it according to whatever the automation that you require. So for now, this is what we need. The next step would be to save our flow, and then we are going to test if this works. Great, now that it is saved, we are now going to test this. Let's go to Messenger. Okay, so we are now in Messenger, and this is the Facebook page that we are going to use to test our automation. So let's send our trigger keyword, which is this one, agree. And we received the first message. So let's enter our full name. Let's say Johnny Cage. Let's see what is the response. Good. So that is the correct response. And if I would like to edit, let's try if this works as well. Okay, let's re-enter our full name. So let's use this one again. Okay. Johnny S. Cage. All right, great. So it is updated. Now let's try to click the yes button. Is this correct? Yes. So now we are asked to enter our email. So let's enter an incorrect email. Let's see what is the response. Oh, so as you can see here, it accepted the incorrect email because we haven't added a condition to check for incorrect email. So how do we add this? Okay, so to add an email validation, let's go to the portion where we ask for the email of our customer. So this is the portion. Please enter your email below. But instead of sending this message after the subscriber or our potential customer types their email, we need to check if that email is valid first. So let's disconnect this. And the element that we're going to use is what we call the condition element. So let's create a condition element and then connect our user input here. So to make this look good, we are just going to relocate all of the nodes here. So let's adjust all of them here, and then let's place the condition element over here. And after that, we are going to configure our condition. So to configure this, we are going to check if the custom variable, which is the email, the auto terms email custom variable, let's add that because that is what we're going to use. So we are going to make sure that the auto terms email is a valid email. So we have an option here, is valid email. So auto terms email custom variable is valid email. So that is the configuration that we are going to use. So confirm the changes. So after the subscriber sent their email, we are going to validate that. And if that email is valid, we are going to continue with the flow. But if that email is not valid, we are going to send a message. So let's connect this message, the message where we tell them that it is not a valid email, connect it to the false socket. So we have here a message and we're going to say, oops, you did not enter a valid email. Please try again. And then we are going to connect this message to the portion where we ask for the email of our subscribers so that they can try entering their email again. And once it is indeed valid, so I guess this is too far, we are going to adjust again all of the nodes here. We are going to bring them closer to our condition. Okay, so once the email is valid, we are connecting the message to the true socket, which is here. Okay, great. So that looks good. That's how you validate email. We are now going to save. Now that we have successfully saved, we are going to test it again. All right, so it is asking us to enter our email again. And if we enter an invalid email, it should check if the email that we entered is valid or not. Okay, as you can see, we are now seeing that the system is validating if the input of our user is a valid email or not. So if we enter an invalid email again, it should return us the error message. Okay, great. But if we enter a valid email like support@marketingmaster.io, it should accept that email because it is a valid email. Great. As you can see, it accepted the email. And if I say yes, that is the email that I want. Okay, awesome. We are going to view the terms and conditions now, like this one. So this is an image, and this is currently a draft, and the time of agreement is currently NA. And yeah, we are going to agree with the terms and conditions. And after that, it should send us the email. So remember that we are going to send two emails here. One email for the subscriber and one email for the admin. So as you can see here, we have already sent a copy of our agreed terms and conditions to your email. And this is the email that we entered above. Okay, so now we are going to check our inbox if indeed we received the following emails. Okay, great. As you can see, we have already received the email. As you may remember, we have sent two emails. One email would be the copy of our subscriber or our prospect, and the other email would be sent to our admin. So this is the email that our prospect would receive. Okay, your copy, John Doe, of our terms and condition agreement. And if we click the download PDF, it should take us to the Robolly render link, and that should be in a PDF format. Okay, great. So this is in a PDF format. And as you can see, we have the name here, the full name. This is the email, and this is the time, okay, the time of the agreement date. So this is generated by the function element that I showed you earlier. And now let's check the admin email. So what is the email that our admin received? All right, great. As you can see, we have received the email as well. So this is our admin email. And if we open this email, okay, great. As you can see, this is the admin email. Okay, and if we click the download PDF, it should take us to the same PDF via our Robolly render link. Okay, so that marks the end of our lesson. So we have learned how to use Robolly to render dynamic images and dynamic PDF files. We have learned how to capture the full name, the email, and the current date. And then we have also learned how to use the omnichannel flow to make this automation possible. So I hope you learn a lot in this video. And if you have questions, just send us a message and we would be glad to assist you. So see you on our next video.